Ever notice how, like, when you're stressed out, your vision can go a bit
Yeah.
weird? It's like your eyes are strained, things blur, or colors seem kind of dull. Happens to me sometimes. Well, get this. There's a real connection between mental health, especially depression, and how we see. And we're not talking about just tearing up. This is different. You sent over research on this, so let's deep dive into it.
Yeah, it's a growing field, and for good reason. People are surprised that depression's not all in your head. It hits your eyes physically, too.
The article mentioned depression impacting, like, eye health itself. Not just our mood, but actual changes. What's the science on that?
It's those stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, the usual suspects, feeling down, body goes into overdrive, pumping these out nonstop. And over time, like chronic stress harms the body, it can mess with our eyes too.
So it's not just feeling strained mentally, our eyes are under pressure for real.
Exactly. One way is the pressure inside the eye increases. That's a risk for glaucoma, optic neuropathy, nasty stuff. Basically, damage to the nerve-carrying site from eye to brain.
Wow, I didn't realize stress hormones had that direct a link to eye diseases. Now, the research also mentioned contrast sensitivity. To be honest, I wasn't 100% sure what that even meant.
So, contrast sensitivity is, simply put, how well your eyes tell apart light and dark areas. Imagine searching for your keys in a dimly lit room. That ability to make out the keys against the shadows, that's contrast sensitivity working.
Okay, now that makes a lot more sense. How does depression play into this whole contrast thing then?
Well, studies show depression can mess with how our brains and eyes talk to each other. So even if your eyes are fine, taking in info, if your brain, because of depression, isn't processing it right, it throws off contrast sensitivity. Like, it's harder to see details, low light especially, as if your brain's kind of foggy.
So if I'm struggling to, say, read signs at dusk or just find things around the house, that could mean seeing both my eye doctor and a therapist is a good idea.
Exactly. Better safe than sorry with both vision and mental health, right? And speaking of help, the research you sent mentions some depression meds, antidepressants specifically. They can have visual side effects too.
Yeah, that caught my eye too, pun not intended. It's worrying because these meds are supposed to make us feel better, not worse. What's the deal with these side effects?
Of course. First off, it's key to remember, while some antidepressants, SSRIs and SNRIs mainly, like the research mentioned, they can cause these effects, but they're usually temporary, nothing unmanageable.
Okay, that's reassuring at least. But what kind of side effects are we talking? What should people watch out for?
Common ones are dry eyes, blurry vision, even just light seeming too bright, like your eyes are on high alert all the time. Good news is most of the time it's mild, fades as you get used to the meds, but super important. Talk to your doctor if any vision change is weird, new meds especially. They'll figure out if it's the meds and adjust things if needed.
Right, got to be your own health advocate. Speak up. Now, besides meds, I was into the alternative therapies the research mentioned. For both depression and vision, which is cool, having options is empowering.
For sure. Lots of paths, it's finding what suits you. Two promising ones, research-backed for both, are CBT. And, might sound basic, but good old exercise.
Okay, I know CBT is a thing, but for our eyes. Like mental workouts for sharper vision.
Good one. Not eye exercises exactly, but CBT is about shifting how you think, right? Spotting and changing those negative patterns that feed depression. And get this, studies say, this mental shift can actually improve contrast sensitivity. Like CBT helps your brain use the visual info it's getting more effectively.
No way, that's wild. Really shows how linked our minds and bodies are. In exercise, we know it's good, period. But helping our eyesight too, that's a new one.
Right. It's like a superpower for both mental and physical health. Releases those feel-good brain chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, huge for mood. But here's the kicker. Regular exercise is linked to lower risk of age-related macular degeneration, and that's like the leading cause of vision loss later in life.
Hold on, so hitting the gym can literally help me keep seeing as I get older. Okay, that's motivating.
Oh,
It's awesome, though, these simple changes doing double duty for our eyes and minds.
absolutely. Shows why a holistic view of health is key. Now, this next bit is where it gets really interesting, builds on what we said before. We've talked depression affecting vision, but could it be the other way around too?
Ooh, I see where you're going with this. Could having bad vision actually make our mental health worse?
More and more research says it's a real possibility. Some studies show that vision impairment, especially if it's not dealt with, it can cause people to feel isolated, less active, even helpless. And those are all, unfortunately, stepping stones towards depression.
It's like this awful cycle, right?
Yeah.
Bad vision makes you less likely to do stuff you used to enjoy. Then comes the social withdrawal, and bam, your mental state takes a hit, really drives home why taking care of both our vision and our mental health is so important.
Exactly. Good vision isn't just seeing clearly, it's about protecting your mental well-being too. And the flip side, taking care of your mental health can actually benefit your vision. It's all connected.
So after this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners about this depression-vision link?
To me, it's awareness and that whole holistic health thing. If your vision's acting up, anyway, difficulty with contrast, eye strain, anything. It might be your body hinting at something deeper, your mental health included, and actively managing that, whether it's therapy, exercise, even just being in nature more. It's got benefits everywhere, your eyes included.
Right, it's like our minds and bodies are constantly talking. We can't just ignore one to fix the other. Even those small, everyday choices matter. Screen breaks, enough sleep, managing stress, all adds up to healthier eyes and a healthier you.
100%. It's the little things done regularly that make all the difference.
This has been incredible, honestly. We just scratched the surface of depression and vision today. Huge thanks for breaking it down for us.
My pleasure. Always eye-opening to explore these connections we carry within us.
And to everyone listening, hope this got you thinking, maybe even inspired you to prioritize both your mental and visual health. If you've got stories, questions, anything to share, hit us up on social media. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep those eyes peeled and those minds curious.